Hello guys, welcome back. Loki asked me if I'd make a special video and I am trying to make it, and when you have a platform you should always do the right thing. You should, but he asked me how would I explain Dante right to a child. And well, the easiest answer is there's no explaining something like this to a child, but if I had to, I said, what age are we talking about? Like, we talking about toddler? They're just not going to understand. If we're talking about a 5 or 6 year old child that comes up to me, I said, that's going to entirely depend on the child. I said, if my child is white, I'm going to say, baby, you don't need to worry about this because let's keep it real. I said, but if my child is a child of color, I'm going to say, first, you ain't leaving this house for a while until mommy figures a lot of stuff out. I said, second, I just feel for all the moms and dads and relatives and all the people of color out there right now. And I said, I would be going out of my mind if my child was a child of color. And if my child asked me what happened and was a child of color, I wouldn't even know where to begin. And if they were a little bit older, say they were, old enough to have a serious talk, I would say, well, there are people that can do this better than I because you look at me and you look at the child and we look remarkably different. I would say we're going to find them and you're going to do drills with them. And you're going to do drills of how to behave when the police stop you. And you're going to do those drills until it's instinct and you know to keep your hands visible and you know not to resist arrest and you know to do everything. You're going to do these drills until you can do them in your sleep. I said, you're going to learn how to say yes, ma'am, and no, ma'am, even though that's insulting and demeaning given the historical use in this country. You're going to learn that, my beloved child, for your own safety. And I said, I would tell my child, you are my damn child. We are getting you something to wear under your clothes because I'm not losing you. I'm not losing you. We are getting you something. We will find something. And if they tell you you can't wear that to work, you're getting another damn job or you're coming home and living with mom. I said, that is what I would tell my child. And I said, if it were a white child, okay, and I'm talking to like an older white child, I'd say, don't be this person that lets this happen in this country. I said, whatever you end up doing with your life, make sure you are taking steps, that you are voting, that you are speaking with your vote, that you're speaking to your congressman, that you're speaking to your senator, that you are speaking out. I said, you don't have to go to destruction to speak out. I said, you can speak out and you can change the laws and you can change racial profiling and you can be part of the solution, not part of the problem, and not just change the channel because, well, it wasn't me and it wasn't our people. I would say, don't you ever let me, catch you doing that because you're my child and I should have raised you to know better. I said, that is what I would say to my child. And I'm so damn angry that we have to have this conversation so many times and that there have been so many losses that the names and the places and the people and the ages they just all start to go together, and it's almost like it's a cry for help because all these names and all these places and all these stories just run together and you start to confuse the details of one with another. And you realize that's because it's become so far too common. And these are the ones we hear about. It's so far common now that it just starts running together. It's like, can you tell me the last 10 shootings in this country? And I'm not talking about people of color and the police. You can't because there's so many. You're like, which ones? Like big fatalities, one or two fatalities. You can't. That it's so common in this country. Gun violence. You can't tell me. I couldn't tell you. I try to not watch the news just to keep my sanity. I watch once in a while and then I see stuff like this and I'm like, this is why I don't watch the news. But it's a double-edged sword. If I don't watch the news, I don't use my platform to speak out when I should. And all I know is some dad's not coming home to his baby boy. And some mom was looking at all these people marching in the streets and everything else and saying, she don't want that. She wants her baby back. She wants her baby back. That's all she wants. I said I would be terrified and I would be enraged, and I don't know what my response would be if the cops showed up at my door and said, "Well, we shot your son." What possible response do you have to that? And, there are probably going to be people that will be like, "Well, what are you talking about that for? This is a pagan channel." And we should be, as pagans, be aware of social issues. And we should be aware of the fact that whether we wear a Thor's hammer or a pentacle or a wolf or whatever you got going on, that this is our fight too. It doesn't matter what the color of your skin is or what your religion is or what part of the road you come from. This is our fight too. Do you want to live in a society where, based on the color of their skin or how rich or poor they look, somebody may be killed when they get in a traffic stop? No, you do not. You do not. You know you do not. And it's just, it's a thing. I couldn't probably talk to the child without either not yelling at the child, using profanities or yelling or flipping my shit, or best possible scenario, having my child go to another house while I lose my shit for a couple hours, finally calm down, and then talk to my child. I said, I really couldn't. I wouldn't even know where to begin. But I said, I know we would get that child lessons, and I would drill my child until they would know how to handle a traffic stop in their sleep. I said, I know I would have that child start spending more and more time with people that don't look like me so that they don't make the mistake of thinking, well, mom's and I are family, so I can live by mom's rules, because that would be a fatal mistake for my child. I would never want my child to assume because they grew up with a white mom or say two white parents or whatever we'd have going on that they are safe out in that world. I'd be like, no, you are not safe, child. You are anything but safe. We are cultivating safety into you, and you're not going to like this. And you may end up hating mom and dad because you're going to learn some hard truths about the world. But I would rather my child be safe and hate me and, go do anything else with their life other than come back to talk to mom. I would rather my child be alive and hate me for making them go through that, but I'd rather have my child alive. And I said I would hate that, because I would have to face that. I say I get married and we adopt a black child. I said, imagine having to face that. Imagine having to face that if you raise your child exactly like you and you pretend to be colorblind and you pretend not to see color, and you're just like everyone else, honey. You could be setting your child up to be killed. I said, you got to be the kind of white parent that says, honey, you aren't like everybody else. You are black and there's no changing that. And we are finding people to teach you how to behave. And we're not just going to have a bunch of white people do it because white people don't know. We are taking you to relatives. We are taking you somewhere. We are going to get you enough training that you know how to behave in all situations, in a store, at a traffic stop, at work, everywhere. I said, you're going to hate me? And I don't care. You can hate me for the rest of your life, but you are different. You are different, baby. We're all equal in the eyes of the gods, but, in this country, that child is fundamentally different. And I'm going to say, you're going to hate mommy, but we going to do this because there's no denying that could be a fatality for my child to, pretend to be colorblind. And I love my child. My child's just as good as me. Of course, my child's just as good as me, god damn it. But they're black and I'm not. It would be fatality extreme to teach them to think that they can play by the same rules mom plays. I'm like, no, I get to play the white woman card. You don't. So, that is what I would tell my child. And that might offend people and ruffle their feathers, but I just keep it real with you guys. And I'm like, you would have to teach your child. You would have to teach your child. You would have to, at some point, go, honey, you may have noticed mom and dad are white and you're not. We need to keep it real with you. We need to tell you you cannot go out this door thinking the world's going to see you as just the same as mom and dad. They don't know mom and dad are white. And even if they knew, they wouldn't care because you're decidedly not white. I would keep it real with my child, is what I would do. I might never see that child again, but I'd rather that child live to a nice old age than see mom again. So, maybe I'll lose people over that, but that's what I would tell my child. So, if you guys like what you see, like, comment, subscribe. Obviously, we did not monetize this one, but we will see you guys later. Bye-bye.